This is Infinite TV 360 bringing you power and purpose. We haven't been like this in a minute. It's been about a month now. So welcome back everybody. We on point. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see y'all soon. But with everything that's been going on and you and I chatted a little bit and you let me know that there were some things you didn't want to talk about. And that was in the forefront of my mind, like honestly. So with everything that went down, what has the blowback of the situation, the tragedy that occurred. You know what I'm saying? The First Amendment. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking about how far is freedom of speech, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on
What
what's
do we
being
got?
said and
You
who's
see what I'm
saying it.
saying? What how far can corporations infringe? And what it is a lot of states are now what they call at will hire or at will states where
Correct.
I can fire you for whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing you can do. And so because of that, we have to hush. And I don't want to be on a spot where we can't say what we want to say. You know what I mean? And there was nothing really I wanted to say about the dude, and honestly, but then, like I said, the blowback of it is how the government it praises you being able to say what you want in one for one group of people where they stand on their First Amendment rights and they're standing on this, and so what they exercising their First Amendment rights. It's not just what you say; it can be what you wear, it could be what you represent,
It
it could be.
depends on who is saying it.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I agree with you. So it's like damn, like so now we can't be our true authentic self because you know we're putting a lot on the line. We're putting our family on the line. We're
No,
putting our households on the line, and we got to kind of be quiet. What y'all think about
so
that?
I know we weren't going to talk about it and say much about it, but this runs into it. When you have newspapers being sued for reporting, that's a problem.
Right, right. I agree.
That's a problem. That's
And
unheard of.
so
When you
so go ahead, go ahead.
it's just I'm trying not to, but the things like you said, the things that are being said and being stood on, they have the backing for. We don't. We
But see,
it's like we don't have the
so
machine. We don't have the machine behind us to
so it's
support
not
us.
like I said. I know we not. It's not just the incident because it's just the one
No,
of
I'm not
many
talking about that. I'm
incidents.
talking about I'm
Yeah.
talking about
Okay.
47. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about everything that's happening with that. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about the other. I'm talking about 47. I'm talking
But
about
I feel like he's just a
that's what
product of the
causes it.
system. Again, Barry, I don't know if you read the email that I sent, and I wish
Yeah, I
you
read it.
had, but I feel like that is a big part of it. Like this, he's just a part of a system that has already been. If it wasn't one thing, it's another type of thing. So yes, this is the thing that he's doing. Then it was the black laws, what we used to call the crack laws. So there are things that have been going on. He's not the first one to perpetrate this against the black, the brown, the minority community. He's not the
No,
first one. He's just the loudest.
no.
Yeah,
I've already
I'm
said the
about to do my
loudest.
Furious from
It's
Boys
not
in
the
the Hood.
loudest.
You said I
I'm
got my
sorry.
balls here. I'm about to do my Furious because I'm about to school y'all a little bit right here. What we're dealing with is to the victors go the spoils. We lost. We lost our rights slowly but surely. And the first one is the First Amendment because you both are correct. 45, now 47. He has the full backing of Congress. That is what? Majority Republican.
Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, all the circuit judges, lower level courts, pretty much because when he was 45, he
Put him in
made
place.
sure to flood the courts with his judges. So what has happened is, and what we've been discussing for ever since he took office, is the slow downturn of society as we know it. We are losing our rights in order to protect their rights.
But that was said.
Yeah.
That was said.
And it's been said.
That was
And that's
that
what
was the
that's
platform
exactly
that
what I
was
mean.
ran
He's
as
not the
far as
first
not going
one.
back.
He ain't the first one. He's not going to be the last one.
He's not the
But
first
Joe, I'm
one.
gonna tell you something.
Things that have been
You and
doing
I,
have been unprecedented.
we all have lived a very long time. God thankfully and blessing. And all my lifetime, I cannot recall a presidency, a Congress, an administration anywhere near what we're dealing with in our lifetime.
Even
besides
Reagan
what,
wasn't this bad.
right? Besides what
Oh no,
we
no,
have
no, no.
read
I'm not
in
saying
history
we've had
books.
some. I'm not saying that we've had any this bad. I'm saying this is the culmination. He didn't just build this overnight. They have
Of
been
course
there.
not.
He just
Past
he's the
20 years.
loudest. He gave
Past
them the
20
voice.
years.
Okay.
But it's true
Past
though. I
20
mean, Royce has mentioned it before with the Tea Party back when Obama was in office. You know, this has been ingrained slowly but surely within
Slowly but surely.
American society
It's a
for a
marathon.
number of years.
Yes.
So now we are finally here to the point where you cannot say or do anything about anything regarding what we do over here, but we can say and do
Whatever
whatever
we
we
want.
want to you
Absolutely.
because that falls underneath our freedoms. We're allowed, based on our freedoms, to say and do what we want, but you're not.
But slowly but
selective.
surely, throughout the decades, they have been trampling over our rights, and I'm gonna use quotes on that.
But we had them.
Slowly but surely, like you
But
said.
guess what? We had them and we gave it back.
We didn't give it back. It was taken.
Oh no.
We had what?
We gave it back because if you look at the numbers, and we've had this discussion before, of the amount of African American men,
that did not
Hispanic
vote.
men, and white women. No. Well, not necessarily that, but those who did vote, but voted for the other side, what also meant voting against your common interests.
Yeah.
We gave back our rights. We gave back them to tell us what we cannot do and what we cannot say, because guess what? We'll get fired. Or just like happened with Jimmy Kimmel, he got pulled off the air indefinitely.
Absolutely.
You know, we gave them to basically take away our civil liberties. We gave them the right to take away basically our civil rights.
I agree.
Look all the,
I'm just saying that it's been happening slowly
and
over
anything
time.
we've been able to achieve, whether it is through our own or through different programs, one by one, they're going away, if not gone already. And now here we are. Guess what? The next one that's under attack. Our history.
Colleges.
Our history.
College. Oh, he's already been up to that. That's already been that's already started to be erased.
Yes.
Like the pictures of slavery are no longer being shown. The statues being taken down. But it is
the Harper's Ferry raid. And everything to that nature.
So
we gave this to them.
We gave this to them. I don't even know. You keep saying we gave it to them. I don't even know if we ever had it, bro.
We had something.
What we had? Tell me. I'm listening. That's a real question. What? Tell me what we had.
Affirmative action. DEI.
We had jobs.
You think that wasn't a fact? You think that wasn't a factor? Bruh, over 300,000 black.
You know how in training day,
unemployed,
in training day,
women.
In training day, when the white boy said, "You've been planning this all day," he said, "I've been planning this all week, son. They've been planning this. They've been planning this, and it's gonna get worse."
When they start laying off a lot of those government employees, a large portion of those employees were African American.
A large majority,
especially women. So we basically allowed them, through either voting for them directly or non-voting, gave them whatever they wanted.
That non-vote is what bugs me the most. That non-vote is what hurts me the most, because you have people who died to get a vote, and you're not going to do it because why? You feel like nobody's for you? Well, you need to find somebody who has something for you.
I
Find
don't.
something in there that you like to get that vote in. You think that it doesn't make a difference? It does.
So
It
so
does.
like
And actually, that's
what's
a good segue because, Joe, I want to actually point this towards you because there have been a lot of times we've been on this together,
okay?
and you have basically talked about all intents and purposes Black nationalism,
No doubt,
which is the embodiment of bringing all of us together
no
in
doubt,
a social, economical, and political means,
absolutely.
bringing our resources. So, based upon what's going on now, let's use that. What could Black nationalism do, or what could it have done to prevent where we are today?
It would have
And what can it do going forward?
start right now. It's pretty much dead. Okay,
Like the Black
so
Caucus.
so, but that's but again, that's not the same thing. Black nationalism is about us doing our own thing and not worrying about the system. So when you say the caucus, that's their system.
That's us working the system. Yeah.
But hear me out. He asked the question. This is their system. What we
Hmm.
need to do is more like what they did in the 60s and the 70s and create our own programs and our own. I did a coat program. I used to do a coat thing or in a back to school thing when I was in Colorado and doing promotions. Some of my friends, they currently do these things. And then, like, I got family in Detroit right now. They're buying and flipping houses and giving them away, literally, in the neighborhoods where the city has left them alone because they're going to leave us alone. Detroit is a city where there is no major corporation like a Walmart or a Target. There's none in the city of Detroit. And so what the people in Detroit, they're taking back their city in the way that they can. Now, I want that to be contagious where we create our programs and we do this. We got the dope boys that's buying property and giving them away and fixing up the houses and renting out the houses and having the land. I got a family member of myself. He got at least 17 properties on one block and he's building the block. And that's what it's called, building the block. And I think us as Black men, we owe it back, especially a Black man like me that made it from the bottom. I've lived at every level that you can live at, every tax bracket that you can live at. And coming from the mud, literally, and seeing what I've seen in Detroit and making it to where I have and being where I am, I don't have any, all I have is to give back. And so when I think about giving back, I don't think about the system because they have always fucked us, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Some of you believe in this system and say we have to work the system. I don't believe the system wants to be worked. The system is a rigged game, in my opinion. So there's no way you can convince me that us voting or me doing this. No, what we need to do is start a program. The three of us can start a program and we can go into the inner cities and start doing something. You know what's going to happen? People is going to get contagious and people going to want to do it. But instead of us coming up with telling us everything that we already know that white America does to the minorities and the blacks and complaining about it, let's come up with the solution. And so when you say, where does it starts with us. And it starts with us talking to other people about this same thing when we are part of our rhetoric. When we step outside and we go and we talking to people and we chopping it up, we're not just talking about cars, clothes, and hoes. We talking about what we can do in our communities. Hey, man, I got this idea, man. Hey, you never know. When you put it in the universe, it's going to bring it back. And somebody going to say something, oh, man, that's a great idea. Let's talk about it. And that's where it starts. So what happened was they assassinated our leaders and they killed our leaders. Then we get these ones that wanted to work in the system instead of creating our own system. And that's what I believe. Yeah, we got to
Okay,
vote, and
so
it's like buying a lottery ticket. I bought a lottery ticket. I don't know, maybe you did when it was $1.8 billion. I spent $10. That's what I feel like my vote is. Maybe I get it.
okay, so what you just described and very well done, very well articulated. I'll just tell you that is the social and economical empowerment But there is a third caveat to Black nationalism, the political. So we
Oh,
cannot
absolutely.
avoid the political side, because at some point we're going to require representation in order to be able to continue everything you just said.
Now listen.
Because think
Now,
about this.
now wait a minute. Let
For
me interject.
every single, hold on. I'll let you say what you have to say. Now let me just finish my point. Then I'll let you have the floor. For everything that you just said, we've had it before throughout since slavery days. We've had the Black Wall Street. What happened to that?
Burn.
We had the Rosewoods of this country. What happened to those towns?
Right.
Because what happens is, at some point, they do not like us advancing ourselves.
Okay.
So in order to prevent them from coming into our communities and taking away our social programs, like you suggested and said, which, by the way, they did. Remember the Black Panther, they had everything you just said.
Right.
And what did they do? They send in folks to basically indoctrinate themselves into the Panther to take it apart from within. Why? Because they don't want us to have it. So now, for the political side of things, we need people that's going to represent our best interests. Whatever that may be for the collective, when it comes to African Americans, we need those individuals to stand up and represent us the best way they possibly can. We need more Jasmine Crockett's out there. We need a lot more of those, because then we can galvanize more of our people. We can start building, like you said, when it comes to the social aspect of things, the economical aspects of things. And now we become more of a major player than we ever been before previously.
But everything you just
And
said,
now-
I didn't leave that out. That wasn't
Well, I know
clearly
that.
in
I
the
know that.
email. I left that out in what I just said, but what you read, I clearly spoke on what we need to do on the political side. But we have to start at the grassroots, because if the people at the bottom don't know to go to the top, then it ain't gonna happen. So yes,
But
we
the question
do
is,
need
do
that.
we even know
But
what our interests
we
are
are
anymore?
capable of
Because
doing.
they're so scattered.
But what we are
What
capable
are our
of doing.
interests anymore?
Okay.
Because 15% Black men voted for Trump this past
Okay.
election versus 8%. That's a 7% increase of Black men in our country decided to go the opposite
I know why.
direction. Why?
They thinking money.
No.
It was greed driven.
No.
It was greed driven. They believed the
No.
dream. They believed the dream as what, okay, I bet if you was to look at that percentage, how many of them make over 6 figures? How many of them are business owners? So I think they made that
No.
decision based on that. They wasn't looking at
Royce,
nothing
actually,
else.
I do agree. Part of that is true. I
No.
do agree
Yes,
with you on that.
you can
'cause
look it
I
up.
know people.
Agree.
I know people that actually said they voted for
I know
him
people who
because
did.
they were looking at their 401ks.
I know
I'm not saying
people
that's
who
the
so forth.
only
Even
reason,
though,
but that's a
since he's
big
been
reason.
there,
That's
I
a
know
big
that.
reason.
I know
Yeah.
that, but it wasn't a majority.
one of-
A
No,
majority voted for him to not vote for her.
No, what I'm saying is he
Point
said
blank.
he said what, 13%? I said a percentage of that.
15.
And the reason for the jump
15%.
was that reason. I'm not saying majority of it, but a
I'm
reason
saying
for
the
that
majority
jump.
of it. A
So
majority.
that's one reason.
That was one of the reasons. Yes, I
Yeah,
one
that's all
reason.
I'm saying.
But
Just
I'm
one
saying
reason.
the majority of the reason is because of the ignorance of the fake news being put out there that she locked everybody up. She didn't.
No,
lock
she
everybody.
voted for that bill, bro. I'm a victim of it. It was a
Okay,
crack.
it was a law. It was a law that she voted on. She didn't do it.
I understand that. But
So
she still
to put that on her is what happened. So everybody was thinking that she locked them up. If you talk to
Yeah.
anybody, that's gonna be the first thing that they said. She locked up all these Black men.
Yeah.
No,
I'm one of them. Yeah.
no.
So that's
But,
what we
okay, time out a second. One, she was the Attorney General of the state of California. She's the top law enforcement officer there.
So she had to.
So if she is locking people up, that is her job.
That was her job. So I
He's
get that.
following
her job.
that
But the
law.
fact is the
But-
fact.
But
So
Royce, I think what you were going at is the fact that a large percentage voted for him versus her because it was her. Not because of her policies, what she's done previously, because she is a Black woman. So they voted against her
Both.
because of being misogynistic.
Both.
I agree
No,
with that
and
too.
both. No, both. Both.
So-
Both.
However,
and I don't
however
understand
we
the
end,
problem.
However we is
Why?
where we is, however we is where we is.
It is. It's what we're gonna go through.
This is something that has been building, and they're finally getting their way. Like shout out to Joy Bryant, like she said, y'all got everything, y'all won. So what y'all still tripping for? Why y'all still messing with us? You got what you wanted,
Tori,
and from the top to the bottom. So now, what's the problem? Now, what's the problem? Oh, it's just us. Period. That's how I feel. So if it's just
well,
us,
it's true.
period. If it's
Well, did
just
you see? Did you see the one Republican that talked about the Pilgrims? How it's passed down for the generations, and this is their land for our families passed on.
if it's just us, period, then that reinforces everything that I'm talking about. Yeah, we do have to start, and we have to. But your question was, like I said, I'm gonna go back. What can we do? That's where we start at the grassroots, and then we're gonna work our way up, and then hopefully those people that's in the government that's working that on our side, those that believe in what we're trying to push, we can get them to say, damn, they really doing their thing over here. They doing their thing over here. I don't know. Some of these inner cities, man, like Detroit, like it's just different. Chicago, different. They coming up. They understanding these gangs and these gangsters that run these neighborhoods. They starting to understand. Like they really don't care about us. We have to do this. We have to do our own. We got enough money. We got enough money. We got enough money, but we need to what is it? It's not the significant number of people, it's the number of significant people. So we need to let our significant people, our black leaders, our black people with money and bread be like, okay, they coming together. Because then that's when I feel like, you see what I'm saying? Like if you see these inner cities is coming together, these athletes, these actors, these people, we lean on them. We need to lean on them. Like, listen, this is what we're doing. Hey, tell me no. Tell me I'm doing a Coach for Kids program, and you not going to donate me $10,000, $20,000, and you from here. Tell me that so I can get that on record. Tell me that.
They
That's
will.
how we got to go from the grassroots and work our way up, and then slowly. So I would like the three of us to pick a program that we can do somewhere that affect. I don't know where we from or where we live. That'd be dope. We knock it out. It's Christmas time about to come up. What turkeys? Like
We'll
what?
let you.
You see what I'm saying? And it starts somewhere. I don't care how big the drop is. Just drop it. That's just me.
I
Cause
get
they
what you're
ain't gonna
saying,
do it.
and I hear what you're saying, and I've been seeing the families buying the acres of land to
Yeah.
build the communities.
Yeah.
I do see it
We
happening.
have to, bro. We have
but
to.
guess what?
But
That's
here's the
also
thing.
on the other side as well because I've seen where there are white communities now are popping back up again.
Absolutely.
Whites only.
Whites only.
Whites only.
But you saying it like it's a new thing. They still have sundown towns in this country.
No. It's not a
Yeah.
new thing. It's not a new thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You
when
know.
it came out,
What
oh, they
was
got
starting
this
to
white
happen
community.
is
Oh, they got this white town. They been had that. They been had that. What are you talking about? Tell me something new.
I mean, so would the hood be our black town?
Huh? But they
Be
already
gone
have a
by
couple
sundown.
people doing it. And it's up to you because it's a community and the way they do it. I think they co-op it. They make you know what I'm saying? It's not like government ran. I think they co-op it and then there's a way that they can get through by, oh, we selling to you, we selling to you. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Got to do a little research on that. But I've heard about it on both
I've been
sides.
looking into that. I was looking to that the Black Pearl,
Yep.
that beach up in Carolina, and the one in Georgia as well. Couple of them I found out. Beaches and resorts actually that are black owned. Um, which is
So
very interesting. Like
so
I didn't realize how well I knew we did a lot, but like, did you know there was a black owned airline before?
absolutely.
Yeah, Wheeler Air. It's yeah.
So listen,
It was,
I'm a spill the beans. So the email that I sent you is something that I listened to. That speech, all I did, it's not my speech. I wanted y'all to read it.
mhm.
All I did is change.
no.
Listen, no. But do you know who it was?
Mm.
I did it on purpose. Do you know who it was? That was Malcolm
My
X. That was Malcolm
okay.
X. The name of the speech is From the Ballot to the Bullet, or The Ballot or the Bullet. And all I did is change
The
the
year.
year. And I probably touched up at the end was my thoughts, because I didn't want it to seem like, because he was talking about like by any means necessary. And I wanted to make sure I'm not talking about killing. I'm not talking about that. I'm not trying to kill nobody. But
No,
it's the
it's
way
not
that he
about.
presented it. And what blows my mind is certain like artists and like Tupac and Malcolm X, and they search certain things and it's timeless. So that was 1964, and the verbiage of it fits right now, and that's what's mind blowing. It's like when you move away from your town, which all of us have, and then we go back and they're looking at the same abandoned building from 30 or 40 years ago or when you was a kid, and it's just kind of like, damn, there's no growth. So the government is still doing the same thing that they have been talking about. So and I did that specifically because we talking about the same things where black men were talking about, as far as we have to vote and we have to do this because they're doing this and they killing us and they doing this and they doing that. 1964. It is 2025. And so want y'all to put that in context on how far we have come from trying to vote to get them to have the best interest of the black man. That's a long,
No,
I got to do
it's
a
a long
calculator.
time. But I'm gonna say this: we are nowhere near like we were in 1964.
Because they found
As
a new way
far
to do, they found a
no,
new way to do it, to lynch
I'm not
us.
even talking about that. I'm talking about the black people themselves are nowhere near the same they were in 1965. The
Yep.
mentality of us is so much more advanced from 1965, but the laws of it have kept us back.
Hold-
The people have held us back,
Okay.
but it has not stopped our minds. Like our mindset
So we
from
closer.
1960 at that time
So we closer.
was
We're closer then. Our minds are advanced and we know more
our
and
minds
we
are
have
closer,
more
but we
money.
are further apart.
So we're
We are
closer.
nowhere near as close as we were in 1960. Family-wise, friend-wise, nowhere near as close.
I agree.
Advanced
So
mind, much further ahead.
exactly.
But
So
our
That I do
communities
agree.
are
which
so
one
broken
would
up.
you rather have?
Why can't we have both? Why can't we
Clearly
have
we
both?
can't.
Why can't we have both? We can, but it gets destroyed.
And that's the fear of the black. That's the real fear of the black man.
It's not a fear, it's a reality.
No. I
That's
know.
a
It's a
reality that's
reality.
been shown
No, it's a
throughout
reality.
history.
But that's the fear that we have. Because when we start, y'all gonna burn it, y'all gonna kill it, y'all gonna hang us, y'all gonna lynch us, and y'all, like old boy say now, he said they're not gonna kill you now, they're just gonna kill your account. They're gonna kill your money. They're gonna do you like they're gonna Kaepernick your
Man,
ass. We ain't gonna shoot you in the
man,
kneecaps no more. We
feed
ain't
and
gonna
dry.
hang you. We gonna Kaepernick you. We gonna Diddy you. We gonna Bill
So Joe,
Cosby
what
you.
you're saying is true then. I mean, what you're just saying and outlining is true. Yes, overall, as a community, as a society, as a culture, black people, we are afraid because we have history to prove us.
Facts.
We have history. We have our grandparents telling us, our own parents telling us.
Facts.
We have our history books, what's left of those that are telling
So
us
what's left of
what
those.
was done to us. You know, we know. I mean, and thing is, trauma is basically ingrained into our DNA.
What is?
Trauma.
Drama?
Trauma.
Trauma.
TR.
Trauma. Okay. I thought you said, okay, I agree.
Yes.
I thought you said drama. I don't know.
You know, no. Trauma from slavery. Trauma from the Jim Crow days.
Civil rights.
Trauma from segregation, the civil rights. All of that is ingrained into our DNA. Why do you think we are the way that we are half the time? It's because of what has gone on in the past.
Absolutely.
So what has happened to the past, what we used to read as kids in elementary school, we are now seeing being played upon today as adults.
Absolutely.
And to Rose's point, the big difference from back then till now is we were more galvanized back then. We were united back then.
Man. Black
we
power.
had the full support of the community.
We had.
That's why you saw the marches and the rallies.
Absolutely.
Granted, Dr. King's views were much different from Malcolm X, but they respected one another.
Absolutely.
Now you got one viewpoint over here and one viewpoint over there, and no one respects
And
anybody.
they don't even talk because it's not my viewpoint. I don't agree with it.
I feel
The
you.
revolution is no longer televised, it's being streamed.
Absolutely.
You said it's being streamed.
Absolutely. And so that's why.
Things are
So
different.
me
Things
sending
are
that to
different now.
y'all though, and that's just so y'all have a little context on why I did. I wasn't trying to pull nothing over y'all. I just was, the long point was the system is their system. And
Oh, no,
I want
yeah.
us to create our own system like they used to do back in the day. Cause like you said, we were closer. We didn't have as much, but now it seems like now that we're smarter and have more money and have more resources, that we should be closer.
Well, can I ask y'all a question? Have we failed Dr. King's dream? Have we failed it? Or are we actually living it?
Yeah.
As much as what we have, are we living his dream?
We are living
or
it.
have we failed it?
No, we're not.
No. We are
All right,
living
two
it.
separate opinions. All right, so Joel, what is yours? You said we are living the
I
dream.
feel like we
What
live
is
in
it?
the dream because this is what he kind of like you say when wait a minute, kind of how you say this is what y'all voted for. This is the dream. He wanted to try to integrate into their system where a lot of his people were, no, we need to do our own thing and forget them and do this and no. he he was a good Christian man at heart where he believed that this is how it was supposed to be, where he was not listening to the people that opposed him, like Malcolm X was. And it wasn't Malcolm X is on Islam, but when it came to black folks, it was not Islam, it was not Christianity, it was not Republican, it was not Democrat, it was black nationalism, and we need to create our own. Yes, we have to operate within the system, but while we're doing that, we're going to do this. It's like somebody that go to work, but the whole time I'm going to work and stacking my money, I'm trying to build my own business. I'm not dependent on this corporation to pay my bills forever because I'm going to work hard for me and mine. I'm not going to put all my eggs in this basket. And that's what Malcolm, but Martin wanted integration. He wanted us to, so this is his dream. He just didn't know it was going to end up being a nightmare.
All right. Royce?
I disagree with that. His dream was integration, but it was equality. And we don't have that yet. We have yet to get our reparations. We have yet to get any type of repayment that was due as well. That was all part of his dream. All of that was part of it. So we're part of it, but we're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it. And that's because of the system. It is, like you said, is designed to keep us down, to hold us back. And now it's full throttle, pedal to the metal.
He said it's full throttle, pedal to the
For
metal.
real.
Because at this
Yeah.
point, and I'm gonna go back to something you talked about a while ago, Barry, on one of our previous episodes, where it's a serious thing where black folks would just come up missing. Oh yeah, we're gonna deport you. We're gonna take you up out of here. It's we where that's a real possibility.
It's happening.
Oh no.
It's happening.
So anything
It
can
is
happen in this
happening.
game. This is like Richard Dawson on what was that? The Running Man. Anything could
Oh wow. The Running Man. Yeah, that was a
anything
good
could
one.
happen.
You never
Anything could
know.
happen.
Change the rules in the middle of the game.
So what you think?
This
What you think,
win.
Barry? Is this his dream?
I think we're living his dream and his nightmare.
That's what I say. Yeah.
I think we have overall, as a people, have overcome a lot since his time. If you were to talk to, again, like I said earlier, about to your parents, your grandparents, and hopefully and blessedly, your great grandparents, they may tell you a different story how society was back when they were children or teenagers or young adults, how they were not allowed to sit in restaurants and not allowed to go to certain schools and not allowed to walk on certain sides of the sidewalks. And you couldn't look at the white people. And if you did, you had to bow down and, and all those things versus where we are today. So we have achieved this dream of being able to walk amongst them, being able to have opportunities,
Part of it.
equality. I hear you playing that in the background, though. You funny. But the fact is, with that achievements that we've been able to make, look at all the things that are slowly but surely being taken away from us as well. You know, this stuff was not achieved overnight. This took generations for us to get to this point of them looking at us as equal men and women in regards to work and
Education.
people, education. Thank you. That's another one that we really don't touch
Innovation,
upon that often.
innovation.
Thank you. You know, we are somebody in this world, but they keep telling us we're not. They give us every reason, they give every excuse, and guess what they do sometimes? They'll put somebody that looks just like us trying to tell us, you're not anybody, 'cause I'm not anybody, so we're all not anybody.
Absolutely.
And what they're doing is right. And what they said is right. And we should agree with what they said.
But that's why
Exactly.
let's go back to what I said. We start at the grassroots. We get them youngsters and we educate them and we mentor them. When I got released, I did a couple. I spoke to some troubled kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through some things, and I wanted to
These
share
kids
my
said,
story. And so to be able to share that and speak to them and have them ask me questions and how did I end up there and why I ended up there and to be able to deter them from that path, that's where it starts. Those are the ones that are going to be our politicians for the future. But in order, we, me, you, him, we have to start and we have to talk to our black friends, our men that's in our community to share that message because to, it's to convince somebody to start at the top when some stuff that they don't really care about, but these young ones, these ones in the communities, these mothers are going to teach their children, these single mothers, these the people that's struggling in the hood because I'm not struggling. I don't know about y'all. I'm not struggling and I can do better and I can do more and I want to do more. So
But you know what though? What's happened is our kids have been assimilated. They've been assimilated.
I was
So they don't see the things that we went through,
oh yeah.
that we saw. They're saying, you know, at the same time as when we were their age, you know, I used to get called nigga all the time. My brother as well. You know, but the thing is, when you go to a predominantly white school and you hear that from your friends, you have a choice. You have a choice of do you want to fight everybody or at some point you just turn a blind eye. My son never went through that. I had a conversation with my son not too long ago. Say, hey, has anybody ever called you nigga before? He was like looking at me like I was crazy because
Not in
he never
2025.
went right. But the thing
Luckily
is,
we
but it
don't
just
live in them
happened.
places because they still doing
but
it.
the thing is though,
It
but the thing is, I just went through that, and you guys know this.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, on my job,
just
one
happened
of my
to our
own
pastor's
customers,
son last week.
yes, call me a
He
nigga.
learned that from his granddaddy and his daddy.
You know, so again, our younger generation are different from us only because they have not truly gone through the things that we went through, just like we have not gone through the things that our forefathers went through, which is our parents, our grandparents, and so on. So we are living a dream because what we're doing is much different from what they experienced.
Way much different.
But at the same time, we are now living the same nightmare because the things that they went through, we're seeing it being played out today, but just differently.
So you hit a lot of good stuff. And I'm sorry that she went through that. I hate that she went through that. For
Oh,
real.
you talking about me?
And both of y'all,
I appreciate it.
myself included.
Right.
Him recently, you know, that like you said, happened in 2025. You know, that happened the first time I was called nigga, I was in college.
I was 6th grade.
I was 17 years old,
I can't even tell
walking
you
down the street.
how many times.
So yeah, so and we were ready to fight, like you said, ready to fight until we saw the outline of the shotgun in his hand.
I got chased by some. I got chased by some three skinheads with a Rottweiler.
Man, so We weren't taking that fight. Yeah. And skinheads. Yeah. See, like the kids don't know about skinheads now
Nah,
because that's not like it was
they
now,
went
you know,
closet. They
because they got
closet. They
hair.
still out. No, bro. Yeah, the kids don't know, but they still out there. They
They still here.
they
They
still
got
out
hair.
there. They just put on a button up. They still out there,
Yeah.
bro.
But then
They
at the
they
same
got
time,
they
what's
got
worse?
they got bullied. They got bullied by kids in high school. They in their 40s. They got bullied by Mexicans and blacks and everybody else. And they was the minority. They got bullied, but they still had to work with you and they still had to be nice to you. And then it like a tea kettle that shit just blew over. That's what happened, yo. They still out here. They just closet. They ain't outspoken. They want to keep it to themselves because you know why they can lose their job because they probably work at an at will state in at will state. So they
Well,
don't
they
do
won't
Well, let
it.
me
lose it
ask you
now
guys
because
this.
they got
Let me ask
support.
you guys this. Let me ask you guys this question. Which is worse? They call you that, or your own kind calling you white boy?
Say that one more time.
What is worse? You
What's
being
worse?
called a nigger or being called a white boy by your boys?
By your boys.
Your own kind.
What
Like
hurt
you
worse?
talking white, you acting white, you know, your white's talking so proper.
You used to hear that all the
I
time
guess it
too.
would be from your own kind, but that's
I did as
I never
well.
heard that.
I used to hear it because my aunt was an English teacher and taught my mother. So English was big in our house. Proper grammar. You going to talk correct.
My mom was an English teacher
No
too.
slang in the
Yeah.
house. No slang was allowed in the house
I
growing
mean,
up. So
I never
so
experienced that.
for me
Yeah.
hearing that, and I used to my mother made me wear a tie to school because school was work. You know, I'm going to work. So I was called choir boy, church boy,
I got
white
called
boy.
church boy.
Yeah,
I used to have
all of
to.
that
I got called
But
that,
church boy is
but I never
nothing.
got called
because I
white
was
boy.
different. Because I was
But
different. Because I didn't talk the same. I didn't wear the same clothes, same brand. You know what I'm saying? I was wearing loafers before sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you sound pretty ignorant right now. No, just playing.
it's stupid. But you know what, Joe? You know, you talk about us uniting as a people, you know, and be able to do these things that you had mentioned, you know, pooling our social resources, our political resources, you know, our economical
Yes.
resources. But how can you pull something together when the people that you're supposed to be pulling together are not united as it is because they're going against each other
Fighting.
on
Oh,
some
I got it. I
stupid
can answer
shit,
that.
you know? Because again, going back to, I was talking about the whole, you know, being called white boy, which is worse, being called a nigger, being called a white boy. Being called a white boy is worse because when I look in the mirror, I don't see a white boy. I see this black man, but at the time, a black boy. But here you are being told by your own kind that looks like you, talk like you don't act like us.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk like
You
us.
not
So
us.
you're not one of us. You one of them. But then you go to your white friends over here, and guess what they calling you? Nigga,
You ain't like me.
you're not one of us.
Yeah.
You can't date my daughter. You can't go with us to the school dances. You can't go with us here. You can't do that with us there. Or at some point, we're going to make you remind you of who you are. So you're caught in the middle. But again, you want to go on this side because this is who you are. This is what you represent. This is what you see every day. But then they don't want you because they think you one of them. So how can I unite over here and lead the march? Y'all won't follow me because you say I don't talk like you, don't look like you. That has been some of the fundamental problems when it comes to the black community.
I mean,
This light skin, dark skin,
that's
you going to this school, you
that's
went
a
to
whole
that
nother
school. I mean,
show.
come
We can
on,
talk
man.
about that next week. That's
But it's still part of it
because
though.
it's ingrained in us. That's that Willie Lynch. We can't help it. We can't help it. We want our
We
own.
can't we
We've
can
had
help it.
everything. We had yes, it takes work, just like anything else worth having takes work. But that's ingrained in us that we that crab in the barrel. But that's from that Willie Lynch. They built us. They just, you know, we still got trauma, like you said. Black folks got trauma. We don't just have trauma from
Yeah.
when we carry our ancestors' trauma because that shit got passed down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, It's just now where people are starting to break generational curses of abuse and all kind of stuff, like Color Purple type shit. So we got trauma. We have trauma just in our own community, and we have to heal. But in order to heal, we need to work together. I think it'll happen. I think it can happen. And
You made something pop up in my head. You just made something pop up in my head. Do you need to go buy your copy of Color Purple before it's gone? You think they're gonna start taking this stuff away too, like everything else, because it shows
Good point.
Rosewood. You know what I'm saying? The movie Rosewood that how they stopped showing that movie. I used to be able to see that movie. You don't see Shaka Zulu on TV no more. That came on every year after Ben Hur. Shaka Zulu was next.
yes,
You knew that
When they
So
took
a lot of
Roots off,
and that's
we're
why
in
Roots was
trouble.
coming on before Ben Hur.
see, we know stuff. We know
Yeah.
stuff. We know stuff, and we've seen stuff that they used to put, you know, on television. Roots and Shaka Zulu and what was the one black and white video they already showed in Black History Month about the civil rights movements, and they they showed us that this generation we didn't carry that, we didn't pick up that mantle and pass it on to our children because we wanted better, just like the world wanted better. So in a essence, we kind of did what the government already is trying to just go ahead and do. There were certain things we didn't share that. Like my grandmother told us stuff. My great grandmother told me about picking cotton. My grandfather told me about his father, and we talked about that stuff. But us as parents and our parents, we didn't pass that down. We didn't talk about it. So it wasn't like to us, we the last, maybe after us. I don't know. If you was born in the 80s, you might know some shit. But if you was in the 90s, you don't know shit. If you was born in 2010s, you don't know shit about that. You don't know nothing about that. We didn't pass that down. We wanted to pass other things down.
Like I say, like 94, 93, 94 cutoff, maybe that far.
That's what I'm saying. If you was
Maybe
born in the
94.
90s, you was born in the hip hop era where hip hop and crack, where people was making money, black folks was making money, and basketball players was balling, and you know, if you was born in the 90s, that's the Shaquille O'Neal time. He was, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot going on. Hip hop was booming right then. That was like the gold rush. So if you was born in the 90s, then that's what you grew up in: basketball, hip hop, entertainment. But us in the 70s and 80s, we knew a little bit about that history, that black history. But right now, you know, you talk about
Well, we
Rosa
grew
Parks,
up in it though.
you probably could have.
We grew up in
We grew up in
the ending times of it.
You think about it, like one.
But you also got to remember. But you also got to remember, for those who were born in the 60s and 70s, like we were, all of those black leaders that you mentioned earlier, we were around when some of them were assassinated. We were around when some of them were put in prison cells. You know, so the history of that time, we were around to witness it and be a part of it and learn it, because that was part of our education. Again, coming from our grandparents, great grandparents, telling us about their times during
But
the civil
also
rights
for our
movement,
safety,
or their times during
but
slavery
also for
movements.
our safety.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We were taught to put our hands
think,
up on the steering wheel, don't move.
Yeah. I still do that. I did that with my son. He got his license. I still do it because that's something that hasn't changed. The system is not designed for us. They couldn't they didn't want to continue slavery. They couldn't continue telling us where we couldn't live. They couldn't continue. They had to figure something else out. But in a way, it's still modern day slavery. It's so much to this, the system. And this is the system that a lot of people want to vote for and want to vote and hope for change. But the only way it's going to happen is if we build back our communities and be more active in our communities. That's all. That's it. But everybody got to just take it up the mantle, and we got to share this, and we got to talk to people in word of mouth. And that's the way. And then we'll get the votes because we'll control this shit. We might not see it in our decade, but I do see the change coming, yo. That's why I was playing Otis, because I do see the change. The change is coming because people going to realize
it's going, but it's not going to be nice.
It's not going to be nice.
Oh no.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a smooth transition.
Oh no. I don't, unfortunately. I don't because
I
no
mean, it could be
transition
a
ever
civil war. History repeat itself.
no transition has ever been smooth. No, one of the transitions has been smooth. So why would this one be any different? Because they're gonna fight to keep it. One thing that you mentioned to me
Which
about the votes,
It's just gonna take a
I
lot of
can't
time.
remember the electoral votes. The electoral votes is the bullshit vote.
Exactly. Everybody know that, but everybody don't want to talk about it.
If we were truly democratic, it would only be one vote. Popular. Period.
You know
So
that. I
that
know that.
electoral
Very know that.
is how they keep the system in check.
Yeah. Look
And
at the
it's and
states.
that's
Look at the states that got the biggest.
yeah. And then with the relining, with the new redistricting and everything that they've been doing, it's.
Yeah.
So,
That's the
I mean,
system. That's the system.
can I ask y'all a question?
Of course.
Overall, do you think we're better off today than we were 20, 30, 40 years ago?
I gotta do every
yes
day.
and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Yes, because we have more knowledge, more technology,
Do it to what?
somewhat more opportunity due to what we
Do to what?
had in the past.
Right. So you're talking about we have more knowledge due to better education than what we had in the past.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
We have more opportunities employment wise based upon the fact that more people have furthered their education
Uh-huh.
than the past.
But our
Okay.
communities are nowhere near as tight, as good.
Are
Um,
you when you say better, are you talking about it? It's two different ways to look at it. You can look at as a community or as an individual.
Both.
Mm.
As a community, we are not, clearly,
Community, no, no.
by a long shot. Individually, probably, because I don't know how y'all grew up, but I grew up, I was a have not. My son is not a have not.
Hmm.
My daughter is not a have not. I'm not. I might suffer because I got kids. But
So in our communities, we see more Black lawyers, doctors, nurses, people of profession
individual accolades.
in our in our community, 'cause they still part of our community, whether they're individual or not, they still part of the community as a
Mm.
collective.
But they're not
But the
interacting with
fact
the
is,
community.
well, again, are we better off today than we were 20, 30, 40 years
And that's
ago?
why I say
Because my point is, Joe, you said earlier that about change. A lot has changed for us in our community 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years
a
ago.
whole lot.
We've come a long way and still got a long ways to go. A very long way to go. So have we reached the mountaintop that Dr. King preached upon, saying that one day we're going to come upon? No, we're not. No, we have not. But we're no longer at the bottom ascending upwards. We're on that damn mountain. And at different times, like what we're going through right now, we're dealing with avalanches based upon other people trying to knock us off that mountain. Only thing we got to do is plant our feet, weather the storm, and do what we got to do to be able to move forward. If that means taking care of our families first and foremost, ourselves first and foremost, which means our bodies, take care of our families, taking care of our communities, provide them with the information, provide them with the knowledge, the education, that then will help them to be able to get better jobs, which then will help them to be able to afford themselves and their families, which now will make them feel more of a confident, respectful man and woman. That now and then you can give that back to the community, like you said earlier, Joe. Then you can go back and let's talk about how we can galvanize our community and find representatives that is going to speak for us when it's time to be spoken in Congress. And then at some point, we can find someone that we all can march behind and say, all right, we're going to give you an opportunity, but don't mess it up, because you're going to get one opportunity to hopefully make these changes. So now things will become better. So now we can start ascending more further up that mountain. We have made changes. It's been subtle changes, but it's been changes. And if we don't do anything and sit on our hands like the millions of people that did this past election, they sat on their hands and sat on their asses, did not do a damn thing but shake their fans, do all that stuff, win drinking and dancing. And guess what? Those are the same people are suffering today based upon the fact that when they had a chance, based upon the changes that their fathers, their mothers, their grandparents gave to them, their great-grandparents gave to them, those poor slaves that coming off the ships and so forth. Those folks, like you said, Roy, they died for us to give the opportunity for education, better opportunities, equality. And what did we do? We just blew and gave it back to them.
Kiss.
If we're going to make a change, we're going to take all that back and do something.
Well said.
Yeah.
That was deep. That was good. Y'all did good.
I'm all for the program, y'all. I'm all for doing something and helping out. We've done stuff at the church and stuff. So I'm all for getting stuff together.
Yeah,
Reaching out to who can do and help us out with it and stuff, you know?
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, fellas.